Hi, Glenn from Aussie Tech Heads. Join Will, Eric and myself as we bring you the latest, most up-to-date, important tech news that affects you from Australia and the world. Weekly podcast available each Friday through iTunes. Watch the live stream recording of the show at live.thesecrethub.com each Thursday night, 7:30pm or GMT plus 10. Call in live via Skype or chat in our lounge. However you get us, just make sure you do. Listen or visit our website for more information, www.aussietechhead.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's longest running tech news podcast.
Welcome to Tech Webcast, Australia's leading technology show. Download our iPhone app, www.techwebcast.info.
Welcome to episode 132 of the Tech Webcast podcast, recorded on Saturday the 18th of June 2011. Tech Webcast is recorded live every Saturday and rebroadcast on Aussie Tech Heads on Thursday nights at 7. Upcoming news stories later in the show. India's richest software tycoon was planning to produce a $30 tablet computer designed to bring iPad-style technology to his country. Armageddon is nigh, but if you've got a spare 10K, Vivos will help you live through it. Hacker group LOL security reveal password and login details for Facebook, PayPal and students' emails, and an Apple patent will stop you from filming concerts and sport events on the iPhone. Today's hosts are Brad, Jason, Dylan and Aaron, with our special guest Niels from PlacePop talking about the Spot app. Spot is essentially for people who dine out frequently. This beautiful and useful app lets you easily save and recall places you want to go, like restaurants, bars and cafes. How you doing, Brad?
Hey, Jason, how are you, mate?
Bit cold, but I'm alive.
Same, maybe. Good in Melbourne, mate. It's a good day in Melbourne. Sun's out. Great stuff.
Back again, had a really good break. Went on holiday and visited my sister out in the country.
Cool. Good
Only
stuff.
had Telstra and XG out there. They've got very spotty Wi-Fi at their house, so they were off the air, but I could still do my stuff, so I was happy enough.
Cool, man. Talking of Telstra, we had the Vodafone fail people on last week. Great chatting with them, guys.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Very funny, them people. Now, Dylan Combs is back on Tech Webcast. Hooray.
Hooray!
Yeah, I'm back. It's good to be back.
What's been going on, mate?
Back to the place you...
What's been going on, mate?
Oh, nothing. Just just been really busy. I had to take a break from pretty much all things internet and my shows and YouTube and the blog and obviously this show too. But I am back now, and I'll be on every week.
Good stuff, mate. And also we got Aaron from Oz Tech News. Hey, Aaron.
Hey mates, how's it going?
I'm going pretty well, mate.
Hey.
What's been happening your week?
I've just been getting heckled by everyone who loves Apple on the internet this week.
Well, I love
Apple. It's been good fun.
I love Apple. They're great.
I dared to take on their demigod John Gruber, and he caught wind of it, and then the ripple effect happened from there. But it's been all good. I've been having a good laugh at the whole thing.
Sweet, mate. Sweet. And also we got Niels from Spot. Hey, Niels, how are you, mate?
Hey, good. How you guys doing?
Interesting name.
Yeah, it's Danish, actually.
Cool, man. Okay, what is the Spot app?
So basically, it's just it kind of replaces your notepad that you might have, where you keep all your recommendations from friends who say, "Hey, have you been to this great burger place, or have you been down to this pub?" This is just a really great way to keep all those places, in a convenient format. And it's an app that's very simple but very well designed, and it just does one thing really well. So we're just trying to deliver a really great experience to people and just solve this little problem,
cool,
and
man.
go from there.
And what about, is it free on the App Store? And how long has it been out for?
Yeah, it's totally free. It's been featured as new and noteworthy in 70 countries now, and it's been up for about 5 weeks.
Cool.
So still new, still a long way to go. Yep.
And what sort of updates is coming up in the application? Can we tell us that? Or
what is the app like?
Yeah, like the updates. You said before the updates are coming.
Oh, well,
updates.
So basically what we're really trying to do is build out from our simple beginnings and do, a lot more social features. We want to do some really we have some really great ideas around how to share your list with friends, kind of keep that sort of a conversation you might have in a bar about places, keep that going, through using technology. And also we really love to get a form of curated content in. So you might say, listen to a local podcast about great new places in Melbourne. We would want to have a way for those people like podcasts and newspapers to kind of provide curated content to the people who have this app. So they have a great way to just kind of browse, new things that they may want to check out.
Cool, good
nearby.
stuff. Good stuff. And you can actually view. So if you had a place on there, can other people view it?
Not currently, but you can share places. So, for example, you might, get a recommendation and keep it on a list in your app, and then you can actually just send it to a friend via SMS. So
okay.
It kind of solves that problem of, hey, where you want to meet tonight? Well, I'll just send you this place. We'll check that out.
Sweet.
So
that's pretty cool.
Convenient.
And also,
that might support the iMessaging function in iOS 5 in the future.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we're using whatever that.
iMessage.
We're using the built-in services. So if it changes to that, then it'll probably work through that.
Cool. And what about
does this integrate with any of the social networks, Facebook or Twitter or something?
It's still basic. We're working on all that stuff, but yeah, currently no.
And this is different from something like Urban Spoon in that you don't go somewhere and then get a list of 50 different places and can't decide what you want, but it's more based on what friends recommend to you as somewhere to go, and you really ask your friends before you go there. They suggest a couple of places, you put it into your phone, and then when you get there, you look them up and go check them out.
Yeah, I think you made my pitch for me. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, if you're heading to Brussels, you ask friends who might have some good recommendations, and it kind of solves that. I'm a tourist in a new city, what do I do? And you can just keep this list of places with you. It's really, it's super convenient.
Now, is this just for iPhone, or does it go for iPad and what about Android and stuff?
Yeah, we're a very small company, so right now we're starting with the iPhone, which is kind of, I guess, kind of in vogue for new apps right now. So we're attacking the iPhone problem. If you have an iPad, it works on there, but it'll run in the iPhone compatibility mode.
Yep.
So it's just like a giant phone.
Blow it up.
But yeah, iPhone only right now. Yeah.
And what's your position at PlacePop?
So I'm kind of the head mobile developer, and I'm also, I guess I did most of the design for the app too. So I'm kind of wearing two hats. I'm just the guys here let me kind of. Yeah. So we kind of sat down in a room and we were like, well, if we're gonna maybe tackle a new issue, what would be a really great way to go about it? And we decided to really try and do, I guess you might call it the Apple approach, where it's like, we'll just really focus on the experience and really do an app that kind of sets itself apart in terms of design. Something that would please sort of the iPhone-centric crowd. And especially nowadays, that there's just so many apps in the store, You can't really get on the store and make a splash if you don't have some kind of, nice polish to your app. So, there's actually a lot of technology under the hood as well that we use to kind of deliver a really smooth experience, and combined with this kind of nice looking interface.
So you want to take a leaf out of the iOS book by first bringing out something that's solid and has the main basic features and then build on that in the future over time.
Yeah, and, I think part of that is that as you learn from your, what you have out there, you can kind of shape your path moving forward, as opposed to, it's an art. It's an art between, what's the minimum viable, product that we can put out there that's still really good and satisfactory to use, but not that we've committed a year to or, spent too much money developing and, there's always a chance it may not work. So it's just kind of an art to it.
I know I mentioned before the show that there was a couple things that I wouldn't mind seeing added to this, but I'm on the website and I'm looking at the screenshots and it looks really nice. And like you said before, it's an app that's really good at doing one thing. It's simple, and I really like simplicity. There's way too many apps that they try to do too many things, and it gets to be too much. And even if it doesn't cause problems like it crashing, it's just like there's too much here. This needs to be in multiple apps, and I think this could really work. This looks really good.
Yeah, we're very hopeful. We're trying this approach. We're very excited about it. I mean, I think it's really and I think the things that we're working on in the future in terms of social and all that we'll put in, judiciously. I think the app will only continue to get, just get better and better and better, kind of building steam as we go forward. So it could be really awesome.
Now this is all Xcode, is it?
Yeah, we use just standard Apple tools.
No third-party SDKs or anything?
No, say that again? Sorry.
No third-party SDKs or anything? Just all...
No, it's straight up Xcode. I mean, I'm an ex-Apple guy, so, that's kind of what I did for 9 years, kind of the whole Objective-C thing.
Okay, so you're doing a lot of programming. That was for iOS, was it?
Yeah. Well, so I guess about me, my experiences, I wrote drivers for a lot of years. I was actually part of the FireWire team, so I got a lot of nitty gritty, kind of low level kernel programming experience. And then, the funny thing is, what I really wanted to do was make great UIs. I just happened to get a job on the kernel team, so my path eventually led me more and more towards, towards the iPhone stuff. So
And
I feel more
Man, I don't know how you guys do it.
how we do the Xcode thing.
No, I don't get how you do it. As much as I love technology and I love the idea of making my own app or software, I cannot sit there and write line after line of code. And I can't imagine doing it for years. But I'm glad
totally
there's
agree.
people like you that love doing it and that can do it well.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, it makes you crazy sometimes, and then you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, not enough vitamin D, get outside more, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I guess there's a passion for it. It's like the problem solving and then making things that actually work, like you put it together and you've created something that actually has a life of its own in a way, It's kind of fascinating to me.
So you would have started your programming with Apple before iOS even existed?
Yeah. It's kind of a funny story, actually. I got my job at Apple by cold calling the vice president of hardware at the time, John Rubinstein. Yeah. I called him up and I was like, hey, can I get a job? I saw you in the New York Times. And I sent him my resume and that's how I got my job.
Oh, all right. And what was your experience like working there? Enjoyable?
Yeah, it's funny. I think people imagine that Apple is kind of like this optimistic, cheerful place. But my impression of it was that people are really kind of super critical there. Like, oh man, our stuff is terrible. Oh, we got to really improve this. There's this constant kind of like, yeah, but we could do better. And it kind of permeates the whole company, even from executives all the way down to people writing kernel code. I mean, everyone there seems to have this kind of just concern about the quality of the product and kind of doing things the right way. And it's just everywhere in the company, and that's such a great kind of environment to work in, especially when you look at the direction the company's going and you see that Steve's leading the company in this direction and the products that are coming out of the company are just great and have, people love them. It's a really great feeling to be part of that, as opposed to, yeah, we shipped this thing, it was pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not just banging out things because everybody else is doing it just so that you can say we've done one too. You want to actually refine it so it's usable and fun to use. Yeah,
it's all about really, I know this is kind of a cliche, but just deciding what doesn't go in, and just making kind of careful decisions about the details,
So a question to you, Niels. How do you make money out of it?
Yeah, so actually what we're going to do is we're connecting people with deals at places on their wish list. So, for example, we think consumers might pay us a small monthly subscription fee for us to reach out to businesses that they actually are interested in or places that they actually want to go and, maybe get deals or other kinds of special promotions. So it's kind of like a dining club in a way, but delivered through a phone in real time, and based on your location and based on places that you're actually interested in going. So as opposed to the standard deal thing where you sign up for an email and then they send you daily email and it's like, would you like a pedicure? And you're like, no, thanks. Now I'm going to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid that whole thing. And again, just look at it really from what would we like? What do we think consumers would really have fun with? Kind of,
Yep.
That's our focus.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure Aaron's got some questions as well. Aaron, got questions for Niels?
Yeah, I was actually interested in the fact that you mentioned John Rubinstein. Were you a direct report of his?
No, I wasn't actually. It was just kind of crazy. Like I had been living in Taiwan for a year after college, and I came back to the States and I was looking for a job. My dad said, there's this guy John Rubinstein who's in the New York Times. Why don't you call him up and ask for a job? And I thought about it for a minute and I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. But on the other hand, he's just going to say no. So I just called Apple, their main number, and I said, hey, can I speak to John Rubinstein? And they connected me, and then, it was his secretary, and I guess she thought I was crazy because, hey, I really have to speak to him. It's a personal matter. And at that point, I was so nervous, and she's like, well, I can't just let you talk to him. He's a busy guy, and she thought I was crazy. And so I kind of said, I said, okay, I'll call you back. And then, of course, then she thought I was really crazy. So I kind of paced the room for a little while, got a deep breath, and just, called back, and I got her again, and I said, so I'm going to level with you. I've always wanted to work at Apple. I've always been really, interested in doing stuff the right way. I think Apple does. I want to send my resume to John and ask for a job. And she said, well, if it's legit and you write a nice cover letter, I'll forward it to him, So I sent it to her. Wow. And then 2 days later, I got an email from Ruby at Apple.com, and he's like, "Hey, we're always looking for great people. Come out to California." And I was like, "Man, I got to go to California." But and they set up some interviews with different teams. I had studied hardware in college, so I did an interview with the hardware team. I did an interview with the software team, and in the end, I decided, software was more my thing. And even though it was a driver writing position, writing FireWire stuff, I was like, yeah, I'll take it. It's at Apple, so I got to go.
Got your foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how it happened. So
once you're in there, you can start applying for other positions and move along your career.
Yeah, I guess, although it took me 8.5 years to decide I was over drivers, but
yeah.
So
yeah, you learn a lot. You learn a lot that way, the driver stuff.
So was he like the head honcho of the unit you worked in, or something like that, or like?
He was vice president of hardware, so he just ran the whole hardware division basically, and reported to Steve.
Yeah. So you would have been there, like obviously, like when he left, because he ended up leaving and he ended up becoming CEO of Palm. And, that was pretty controversial at the time. He took a lot of Apple guys with him too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some of the guys I knew from the organization went over there too. But it was very. It felt like a very kind of Apple comeback situation. Kind of, there's Palm, and they're kind of suffering, and their ship is sinking, and then you have these guys who, they were with Steve when he did the whole Apple turnaround, and I think they kind of had a feeling like, well, we could do that at Palm. We can go over there, think outside the box, be brave, make some tough choices, and I think we can turn Palm around, Yeah. And I think there are a lot of people at Apple who kind of felt that spark, especially being there for Apple's turnaround, and then things kind of getting more into regular business mode. I could see them kind of wanting something more adventurous, more exciting, bigger opportunities.
What was the mood like? What was the attitude towards John after he left though? Like, was it like were they dirty about it, or were they sort of doesn't matter anymore?
I see. I guess at least among the engineers that I talked to, sort of the rank and file.
Yeah.
There people that I heard he's taking guys over to Palm, and but I don't think anyone really, at least my impression of it, anyone really felt like bad towards him or anything. It was, for me especially, I was like, well, good luck. Like he's going over there to try something different, and I think people at Apple kind of respect that attitude. Like stick your neck out. Yeah.
Do you know a single person in this whole world who owns a Palm WebOS device?
I guess personally, no, but I see them around, and I kind of feel bad because, like I said, they did the Palm thing, which is based on sort of the Apple model of we're going to innovate, we're going to do something really great, and I really think a lot of stuff about WebOS is really great. It's really cool. They built it on, future thinking. The hardware was maybe a little cheap, but I think they put a lot of thought into it. They went out on a limb with the inductive charging thing. Like, I feel like it could have, I wish it had done better than it did, and maybe HP will breathe some life into it. We'll see what they do,
Yeah.
And it looks like future iPhones might be doing inductive charging after a new patent was released.
Oh, I didn't see that one, but that,
that would make sense with the Wi-Fi syncing now and the cloud and everything.
Yeah, the pieces are sliding into place, one step at a time. Which is what we're trying to do.
Plug it in to charge if you're not plugging it in to sync anyway. Don't plug it in at all.
Yeah, that would be pretty great. Yeah, I look forward to that.
Dock connector stuff too, I guess.
The which one?
Just save plugging into a dock connector and have to worry about broken dock connectors and cables and things.
Cables are so last century.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
I thought they might do inductive charging on the iPhone at some point, and I would expect that. It's something that Apple has been doing lately with the iPhone, is stealing other people's stuff. They just, what was that story like last month? Some guy's app that he submitted, they rejected it and then took it, like the exact app, barely modified the logo, and now it's iCloud or whatever, and now they're doing this, and this is Power Matt's thing.
Yeah, I guess. Although, I
don't know. I mean, I can't sit there and say no. I can't sit here and say no. They can't put that in the iPhone. That's but it's just kind of like
they take everybody's good ideas.
It's the thing. Like, what's our alternative? For them, it's all about the experience of the phone, and some of these apps are kind of fixing holes in their user experience, right? Like, hey, I have a great idea. I just feel like some of them are. I get your point, and it does suck for some of these developers, especially like, hey, I had this great idea, and I executed it, and I put my own time into it, but at the same time, Apple is like, moving
It's
forward.
so good. They're like,
with-
no, we're keeping that for ourselves. That's too good for you.
yeah,
You can't make money on that. You know, it really is the year of the copycats.
no money for you. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Jason, let's get on to some tech news, mate.
Cool. Computer company Wipro, founded by Azim Prajim, said that it was developing a touchscreen PC device that would cost a fraction of the 29,500 rupee or $625 starting cost of an Apple iPad in India. The tablet, aimed at the nation's rural poor and school children, is under development at the company's Electronic City campus in Bangalore, which employs 11,000 people. A Wipro spokesman said the company was developing nanotechnology and miniaturized components to drive down costs, and a pilot model should be ready early next year. Ashok of the Indian Institute of Technology in Madras said that although cutting the cost of the tablet PC to such a low level posed significant technological challenge, if the project succeeded, the implications for India would be huge. He said, with the kind of income levels we have at India, at $35 it would have a huge number of takers. Sales of tablet PCs such as iPad, BlackBerry's Playbook and Samsung Galaxy Tab in India are expected to exceed 1 million units in the next 12 months. Criminal hackers who crippled the CIA website this week have published student email logins as well as Facebook and PayPal accounts. The group, known as Lulz Security, dumped more than 62,000 personal details on Twitter yesterday, inviting people to try the passwords on everything from bank accounts to online stores. It's claimed the passwords were downloaded 2,100 times in the first 4 minutes after release. Twitter was soon flooded with claims from individuals who said they had used the password to gain illicit access to Facebook and PayPal accounts. Emails and passwords of University of Queensland students and a high school student in central Queensland were also published, along with logins at 7 other Australian universities. Lulz Security took credit for crashing the CIA website for several hours on Thursday, and have also reportedly attacked Sony, Nintendo, the US Senate, the US Public Broadcasting System, and Infragrad, a private company that works with the FBI. The hackers said the attacks were just for kicks, and that the passwords in the recent link were a random assortment from a collection. So don't ask which site they are from or how old they are, because we have no idea, the group said. Releasing 62,000 possible account combinations is a loot for creative minds to scour. Think of it like digging a very unique mine shaft. James Cook University and Griffith University logins were also compromised, but it's not clear if they were for students or faculty. Apple wants to stop you from filming rock concerts and sporting events on your smartphone. The company is working on technology that will automatically disable a person's iPhone camera when it's used to film a live event. Apple filed a patent application for the software 18 months ago, according to information obtained by The Times. The software could stop ticket holders to the Big Day Out, State of Origin, and NRL and AFL Grand Finals filming the occasion on their iPhone. Anybody trying to film an event with their iPhone would attract the attention of infrared sensors installed at the venue. The sensors would instruct the iPhone to disable its camera, however the phone's ability to make a call or send messages would not be affected. The Times reports that the technology is being seen as an attempt to protect the rights of event organisers and TV broadcasters who have exclusive rights to film an event and are upset when phone videos appear on YouTube, allowing people to watch it free. The software may allow Apple to negotiate better terms with record labels for selling content through iTunes. Hans Eriksson, chairman of the Swedish tech firm Bambusa, which has built an app allowing people to stream their live recordings on the internet, told The Times, "Apple is smart. I assume Apple is not doing this just to protect against people sharing copyrighted material. Hopefully they'll see there's an opportunity to make money here." And there's no shortage of wild-eyed alarmists running around with their watches set to Mayan time, insisting the end of the world is nigh. But unfortunately, for one dealer of extinct-proof shelters in the US, that's not converting to sales. Robert Vicino said there's any number of ways in which humanity could be wiped out by the end of 2012, and has set up a company, Vivos, expressly aimed at helping those willing to pay to survive it. The soil of the Earth itself can provide the best shelter for most catastrophes, including a pole shift, supervolcano eruptions, solar flares, earthquakes, asteroids, tsunamis, nuclear attack, bioterrorism, and chemical warfare, and even widespread social anarchy, Vivos states on his website. The answer, Mr. Vicino tells us, is underground bunkers. The expensive ones hold up to 250 people in them and give them some 50 square metres of personal space each. They start at US $25,000 a share, but with time running out, Mr. Vicino is offering a discount option. If you've got 10,000 US to spare, you're guaranteed at least 6 months safety in a less cosy, yet just as Armageddon-proof 30,000 square metre bunker shared with 1,000 people. What was previously perceived by many to be a survival solution only for the elite, is now affordable to virtually anyone wanting a boarding pass into an impervious Vivo shelter to survive Armageddon or whatever cataclysms may be ahead for our planet, he says. Mr. Vecino said about 10,000 shares in various bunkers had already been sold, and the cheaper option doesn't mean you'll be more at risk. I'm afraid all I can think of is the asteroid heading towards Springfield on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And everybody going into Ned Flanders' shelter, which fell to bits.
Yes, indeed. I agree. I'll send that one.
What do you think about the Apple patent to stop your filming? Does nobody carry around a little Canon camcorder or a flip cam? I guess.
I think everyone does. Everyone does.
So what's the point?
I got something.
You can't film on your iPhone. You just get out a Canon.
I reckon just do it. Who cares? There's no law against filming something
It'll never work.
At a stadium.
Look, the reason why Apple are doing things like that is because they're just preparing for the fact that if the US governments or like state governments or federal governments ever pass a law to make it illegal to film at shows or anything like that, then Apple are already prepared to have it. Well, they're already prepared to have a system in place to sort of say, well, we can make the iPhone compliant with the law by implementing this technology. And then, of course, because they own the patent on it, they can make money from it and license it to all the other mobile phone manufacturers. So they're just sort of getting prepared if ever that were it would be put into place. But they're not going to just enforce that on people, obviously, because no one would go for it.
Yeah. What about you, Niels? What's your view on it, mate?
On the whole, oh man, I just don't know if those kind of restrictions ever really work out. So wouldn't the best thing to be is just like kind of promote it or find some way to make money out of it, or go with the flow as opposed to against the flow in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. What about you, Dylan? You there, Dylan?
I got 2 words for them: jailbreak and Cydia.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
It's over.
All right. Let's now, Jason. I want to speak to you about the new iOS. You got that on your iPad, mate.
iOS 5, hurrah!
Now, how is that?
Love it. Except for a little bit of crashiness and battery drainage, which I'm sure they'll fix with the next beta. I mean, it's the first one, so give them a break. I'd be interested, and I expect that this is probably going to be the biggest number of downloads for a beta for Apple ever. I mean, I've got a developer account, so everybody on Twitter and everywhere is saying, quick, add me in my UDID to your account so I can activate it. I want to try it out. It's so awesome.
Yep.
And they can beta test for me in the future, of course. But so many people want it. The notifications is brilliant. Yes, it's stolen from Android, but they've done it better because you can tell the notification center what apps to show notifications of and really customize it, whereas the Android one is just a bit of everything thrown in there. There's no way to order it, whereas on the iPhone you can select what order you want it to come in, what time, by time, or alphabetical order or whatever. They've done it really well, and I'm sure they're going to expand on that. And I like the little weather widget. I wonder if they're going to put other widgets.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait to use it on my iPhone. That looks so cool. The extra features, the iPad's got a new split keyboard, which is pretty cool, that you can split it up so you can do thumb typing on either side of it. Yep.
There's so many really cool new features that I just love on it, and I'm happy to be beta testing that one. I'm glad that I put it on my device.
Cool.
And so is most of the people who are trying it out.
What about iMessages? What's that like to use?
That's really good. I did a beta test of that with a friend of mine who's got iOS 5 as well. It works really well. Comes up in different colors so you can tell, and it also has a faint writing saying iMessage when you're going to send it, so you know what kind of delivery it's going to be.
Sweet.
Who needs a SMS unlimited account now, because you're never going to need to use it if all your friends have got iPhones.
Yeah, exactly.
Just use iMessage. I hope that they would open up the library so that others will open up the API so other phones and manufacturers could use it and just really get rid of the carrier's lucrative income from messages.
Yeah,
which cost everybody so much money, and there's no reason to, because they're only 140 characters or whatever. It's ridiculous to spend that much money for it. The newsstand, I haven't really had much chance to try that out, but I guess that'll come in the future. Twitter integration I've enabled but haven't used it.
Okay.
Reminders looks pretty neat. They've got location-based reminders, so you can say, when I drive past the milk shop, remind me that I need to get milk there, instead of just at a time and hope that you're going to be driving past there and not stuck in the traffic. Camera app updates. You can take photos without unlocking the device, which is pretty neat, because sometimes you just want to quickly take a photo and you have to, with mine, I have to slide across to unlock, type in the password, go back to the front page, click on the camera app. Now you can just double click on your home button on the lock screen and you've got access to photos there.
Thank you, Microsoft, for the idea.
Yeah, but you can't look at other old photos. So if you've got something in there, some risky photos or whatever, risque, nobody's going to see them. So that's pretty neat.
Cool.
You can use the volume up button to take a photo. Poor mostly Lisa Bettany, who put that in her app, and Apple blocked her app because Camera Plus had that feature, and now they put it in there, so she was a bit annoyed at that.
So is that application being blocked on iTunes now? You can't get that anymore?
No, they blocked it for a while, but she took that feature out, so they unblocked it. And she had a secret way that you could do it by going to a website after you'd put the app on there, and then they found that out because somebody tweeted about it, so they blocked it again, so she had to remove that again. Now it's part of the operating system. You can also use the volume or the button on your headphones to take a photo as well, which is going to be pretty neat.
Good stuff. Now, also, Jason, did you also hear about the Facebook for the iPads coming? As an
I saw you were posting about that on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about it, so I haven't read about it. But
I want to know about what people think who actually made these Facebook applications now for the iPad and.
Zuck said they'd never make one because it's not a mobile device, but maybe they're like Apple, where they say
it's going to happen
make iPod with video, and then they do. So
it's going to happen. So
can't leave anyone anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, it's going to happen, mate. So I can't wait to see it. So it's been pretty good.
Sure, I'm just going to really annoy my iPad and Friended and Friendly and stuff, though.
What's that?
You got to feel sorry for my iPad.
Yeah, I know. I know. Exactly. Yeah. So Dylan, are you back, mate?
I am.
What's your view on that story about the video cameras and the stuff, recording videos and that sort of thing?
Yeah, my mic got unplugged somehow. I was going to talk about this. As far as Apple wanting to restrict the camera, I really don't like this for two really important reasons. First of all, if I buy an iPhone, that's my hardware that I paid my money for, and they shouldn't be able to tell me what I can and can't do with it. And I have a problem with any restrictions like that. I don't even like the software restrictions they have. But second of all, if they can do this, who's to say the government can't do this? Because there's been any instance in one that was just recently where the police tried to stop people from filming when the police were doing things in the wrong.
Wow.
This could be used for that. Disable the camera if there's police around or whatever. This could be used for evil.
One good thing for the people is that the cops won't need to smash their cameras anymore.
Keep your camera,
just turn them all off.
Yeah.
They just go, here's a red light, infrared light. Okay, now you can't film this. Ha ha ha.
There's just something wrong if I pick up this device that I bought that has a camera in it and I go to use the camera and it doesn't let me. What? No.
I mean, but the odds of them actually putting it in. I mean, does anyone think they're actually going to implement it? I don't. I mean, I see it as unlikely.
I don't think they'll do it optionally. They'll only do it if laws are passed that you're actually forbidden from filming at shows anymore. Once laws are passed, then Apple will go, well, here's a solution to sort of comply with the law, but they won't do it optionally. It's not like they want to do it, They're just looking to make money off something if something becomes law.
All right.
And that could happen. I mean, laws like that happen.
All right.
I just
think
it's wrong. I just think it's wrong to do, even if it is illegal. That's not Apple's job to stop me from breaking the law. If I'm someone that's going to do that, that's the police's job or whoever to take down that content if I post it online to sue me and make money. But that's certainly not Apple's job to just tell me no, you can't use the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They may not have a choice though. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wrap the podcast up, guys, because it's going over 30 minutes. So, Niels, thanks for being on, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Guys, where can they find you on the internet? Niels, where can they find you on Twitter?
It's at Noggin, Noggin.
Okay, cool. Warlock?
The website spot-app.com.
That's
it.
That
as well.
Jason?
Download it, everyone.
Yeah, where can they find you, mate?
JasonOakley.me, 2bilby.com, and on Twitter at Warlock.
Okay, Dylan, where can they find you, mate?
Twitter, Dylan Combs TV, Facebook.com/The Dylan Combs, and of course, Combs.tv.
And Aaron, where can they find you, mate?
It's OzTech News on Twitter and OzTechNews.com.
And you can find me at Brad Oz Tech Webcast and Facebook Tech Webcast. Good to have you back, Dylan.
Great show.
And Dylan, guess what?
You lost the game.
You lost the game.
You're listening to yet another one of the fine members of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Find more of the member shows over at techpodcasts.com.
Tech Webcast. Australia's leading technology webcast.
Tech Talk for Geeks.